Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. And again today we are featuring another buffed tank, and that is the Tier 10 American Premium Medium Tank, the M48A2 120mm, which is a premium version of the tech tree pattern. And yeah, so what I'm going to do initially is, before we get into the two replays I've got to show off, is just quickly go over what exactly have they done. So they have increased the hull rotation speed slightly by 48 to 52. They've then also slightly increased the hit points of the tank from 2000 to 2001. They increased the turret rotation speed from 38 to 42. And then they slightly increased the reload from 8 to 8.2. But that is not really noticeable. And then, like the rest of the American tanks, they've increased the alpha damage from 400 to 420 on your standard and premium rounds. And then your HE is gone from 515 to 530. But what they've also done with this tank is, thankfully, they've increased the ammo count from 36 to 42, which is actually quite a big change, because initially when this tank came out, it actually wasn't very good, and then they buffed it, and then they've now buffed it again. I think it might even had 3 buffs, and because the DPM is so good on this tank, you just burnt through the ammo, and you often found yourself running out of those ammo. So that's actually a good change that they finally increased the ammo count. It's something I think they need to do on a few tanks, but that's for another day. They've also slightly increased the panel armour of the tanks. It's got slightly more armour than it did before. But that's the biggest changes to this tank. Now what we're going to do is stop rambling on and get onto the gameplay to show you exactly what these changes have done. Okay, so here we are for the first replay then on Nominam. I have not said that correctly, but we'll just move on. If you want to see the equipment and crew setup I am running in this tank, you will see that at the bottom of the screen now. As I say, this tank has crazy DPM. You've got, I think with this build, I've got the DPM at about 4,213. And you can really, when you get the opportunity to get this gun slinging, pick up a lot of damage in a quick space of time. So on this first map, we have one enemy artillery to deal with, and I believe 2 enemy light tanks. We are in a platoon. We are platooned up with Big Swindle, and he is in his light tank. Now we've got what I'd like to say the preferred spawn on this map. I much like this, prefer this spawn for this reason, because you get the advantage of immediately going underneath this ridge and pretty much blocking in the enemy team and their spawn. And putting them under some real pressure. So I do find this a lot easier, because if the enemy team are aggressive and go underneath this ridge, they're normally easy targets. So yeah, I do find this map a little bit unbalanced, if I'm honest, with sides. That's just my opinion. We do have a light tank which was crossing behind us, and I stopped to see if we can get any shots into this tank. Unfortunately, we missed that shell, but thankfully the friend with us does at least hit his, and that puts him onto a 2-shot to us. And I'm just seeing if we can just get any shots into this tank as he leaves. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity. We do actually pick up a little bit of assistance, but you can see the chap with us here is actually pushed up quite aggressively, and I can just tell there's no one on this ridge in front of us, and that is good news for us, because that means we can get on top of this ridge. And if you get the freedom to do this, it really then puts the enemy team under some pressure. Like, you can't always do it this early. You have to sort of get a feel for it. But when you get there, like tanks like this, and it's now in a really awkward situation, we're going to focus out this grill, of course, and we do manage to pick up a kill, and already 800 damage in the kill. So that's a good sign. But we have a little medium to our left, as you can see that on that hill. That means when we poke in that position where he was now, we're going to be getting shot for 2 angles. So I'm going to try and take away that and move to the next ridge along, and in this way I'm hoping I can try and get more shots in. I'm just hoping they don't, in the time it's taken me to do this, they don't move in on my friend who was with me, because I don't really want to leave him out to dry. But I'm just trying to move in here and get the shots in. You can see this poor tier 9 mediums can have a real rough time, because I've just got such good DPM. He doesn't really have any gun depression, and he's playing on the ridge line, so he's not in the best sort of place to fight me. We then have opportunity to shoot this enemy heavy, and any tanks on the right hand side right now, if they poke up on their ridge, they're essentially going to be free farms for me. We're going to try and focus out this enemy medium if we can, and this is just where the damage can build up very, very quickly when you're able to get this gun slinging like this. It is actually a close game though. A lot of our team, as you can see, is still pretty much in our sort of spawn area, so we don't actually have that much support here. It's really sort of me and this guy with us, and then you've got Swindle over there on the other side, but we don't have that much support, so I'm just trying to get as much damage in as I can, as quickly as I can, to try and take out the numbers of the enemy team. An enemy artillery though does get spotted. Now of course we are going to try and focus out the enemy artillery, stop him shooting at the other members of our team. He's a sitting duck in the open. He shoots and doesn't really connect, and hopefully now we should be able to pick up the kill. We do put him there onto a one shot. I'm just checking that there's any tanks coming behind me. This medium earlier has snuck up behind and put a shot into us. We do at least take him out, but we're now are down to sort of half hit points. But at least we have got rid of that enemy artillery, picked up 3 kills, and are now on 4,000 damage. But it's like I say, I'm thinking now, if you look down that sort of AB sort of 1, 2, 3 area of the mini map, now the team has started to push across. I'm thinking I might actually need to leave and fall back to my base, because we don't have the numbers. Normally when you win this area, the game starts to collapse very quickly, because you just sort of get rid of the enemy team. That's not really happened, and the enemy team are still in a strong position. I am going to try and take care of this 705 before I leave, if possible. I don't want him poking up and shooting us if we try and run. So unfortunately we bounced that shot on the lower plate, which is not great. We would have put him onto a one shot. Again, I don't really want to eat the shell off of that 705 if I can help it, because I'm on 1,000 hit points. He would put me onto a one shot if I eat that shell, and that's not ideal. But he is now onto a one shot, and he's turning because an enemy, the friendly person on our team has come behind him. Matt has now put him onto a one shot to us. We're going to hopefully try and finish him off. I didn't roll high enough to do it then, but he's a definite one shot to us now. But I'm conscious, just looking at this line, we are kind of surrounded here. We're having a good game, on 5,000 damage, 500 assistance, but the support is starting to dry up. So we're going to try and finish off this tank. We do at least get rid of that enemy heavy tank there, which puts us on 4 kills now. And this is what I'm thinking, I might just run in a minute, because the people with me, the tank which is behind us in that low ground, is going to get taken out by this enemy TD. That leaves me really with this one enemy tank, which was the friendly tank which was with us, and then I think we're just going to get a little bit outnumbered, and I might just decide to, you know, just give this up, fall back while I can, and then I can get, you know, I've had a good start to this game, 5,000 damage, 4 kills, and there's a lot of damage left, but I might just pull back to the base and bring the enemy team into us a little bit, and then go back from there, because you can see the enemy, our friendly heavy tank, gets taken out by the Object 26-4 there. I don't want to eat a shot off of that tank. He's still very, very healthy, so I'm just really praying at this point that I get back to our side of the base without getting spotted, because I don't want to get spotted crossing here. That's why I kind of left early, because I think if I left it any later, I might not have been able to get across, and then I would have just had to do the best to get as much out as I could from that location. So I had decided to go back and just bring the enemy team into us, I guess, and just try and fight where we've got the numbers. We do still have Swindle alive in his light tank. He has also been pushed back and had to fall back. And I'm looking at the A sort of 5-6 area. There's no one really defending that apart from Swindle and his light tank, and he's going to struggle fighting you know, those heavies and those tank destroyers all by himself. So I'm going to move in and see if we can try and support him and get some damage over there. I'm just keeping an eye out, and you see there, I was really just scanning to see what hit points enemy tanks are, and just try and remember that, because there's always important information. You know, it's free information, but it's just something you should just take note of, because it might come in handy, you know, come to the end of the game when you need to know if something's a one shot or not. So we're now pushing across, and we're going to see if we can get any of the damage in. We have taken the lead, but it is still very close. It's still a very close game, so I don't want to be careful I don't throw it away. I also really want to try and get some more damage out of this game, knowing that I've already got 5,000 already. I also don't want to have the opposite effect, where all the damage then just disappears, and I can't turn a sort of good game into a really good game, if you like. So there's an enemy Italian tank destroyer, which could be difficult to pen if he is hull down. But I have swapped to the heat shells, and you do have decent pen on these heat, 340 heat, so I probably should, you know, be okay penning them. I just want to make sure I don't get shot by any tank destroyers in the back, but I'm also trying to close in and just, like I say, get the damage while I can. Thankfully, we killed enemy artillery, so we don't have to worry about that. There is an enemy light tank covering him. Not too concerned about the light tank. Now this enemy Italian TD pulls forward, and I'm very obliged and thankful because I'm able to get some shots in. Unfortunately, upper 2-mate Swindle gets shut down by the STB-1, so we have lost that. And like I say, it's still a close game here. I really want to get rid of this tank because then it's kind of stopping us moving forward, if you like. If we get rid of that tank, that frees up opening up to move forward. Thankfully, gets taken out by the 113 in our team, which was, I think, was the 113 from earlier. So he's had a good fight and had a really good game there. So we're going to try and move forward now, and now we have the freedom to go back to the ridge and again sort of trap the enemy team in their spawn and see if we can get some damage there. Tried to make a snapshot on the move, wasn't able to get that shot in. Want to try and force this light tank off, try and make him run. Just to get rid of that tank and now get on the ridge and hope we got teammates behind us to help us. Enemy tank destroyer gets spotted and he's full health, and at this point I'm kind of being greedy, just going for any tanks which have got the most hit points. There was an opportunity to shoot a one-shot STB-1 and I probably, you know, maybe should have shot him, to be fair, but I went for the damage. We got 3 shots in, and unfortunately the Leopard has moved around and got an awkward angle for us. And now this is not ideal. I really need support from my team at this point, because unfortunately for me, to make things worse, the light tank has now gone behind me and I can't turn to fight this light tank while I've got this Leopard in front of us. Thankfully the light tank gets shut down, which is very, very helpful. I'm on a one-shot now, and yeah, I need to bounce a shot off this Leopard. We put him onto one-shot 2. I had to just get lucky. Unfortunately I don't. Leopard's got good pen and good accuracy, and we get shut down, but we do still have a good game. And spoiler alert, we win. Let's just go on to the end scoreboard and see how we got on. Okay, so how did we get on? We got 4 kills, 7,500 damage. Got the ace tanker there and the high caliber, so we have had a really good game. And we got a, what, did we get any assistance? Yeah, about 1,000 assistance as well. So that's it for replay number 1, but we still have one more replay to come, so let's move on. Okay, so here we are then for the final replay on Siegfried Line. This time we are playing solo, and there's 2 enemy artillery, and I guess the important thing to note here is there's no enemy light tanks. Now, with there being no enemy light tanks, it means the field could potentially get left a lot open, because normally the light tank shows full send down into that sort of lower sort of middle F2 area and become a little bit of a nuisance. But there is no light tank, so that's probably something to just take note of, because it might come in useful later. Now initially I do just stop in this position just in case any enemy tanks do decide to make the cross, or any mediums, etc. And I just want to wait and maybe get some opportunity, because at this stage I don't really know where all the enemy tanks are going, and I'm just sort of staying patient to see what happens. Now in an ideal world for me, I'd love it if some of our stealthier tank destroyers sort of move out to down the field at sort of the E12 area, because if they did do that and they got there undetected, I could then move along down that 5 line, like I say, with the fact that there's no enemy light tanks, and then spot their tank destroyers which are likely to be camping at the back of the map. So at the moment I'm just trying to work out what I really want to do, and I'm weighing up in my mind, do I want to push down this 5 line and spot the tanks? Because the only danger of me doing that is if I push down and then discover there's a tank more at sort of the K12 have side shots into me. That's a real problem, but I'm just going to take a gamble they're not. So I've moved down to this position where I can go hold down, and we spotted an enemy waffle E100. We get 1 shot into him. He is sitting duck for us in the open. I mean, hopefully the artillery can shoot him. At the moment there's not a lot of our team who can really help me other than me get some shots in. And now, like I say, what I want to happen now, we know with me being here, we've got a lot of information for our team, and you can see where the majority of the enemy team are sort of in the town. So that does mean enemy TDs have got freedom to move up down the 1-2 line, and this is what I'm trying to get across to my team. If they move to this position, they're going to be able to get shots at any stuff I spot there, and they'll probably be able to free farm without even getting detected. So that's what I want to happen. But obviously, and it looks like one of our friendly teammates, it's actually going to go and do that. So that's really good news for us, because that's going to give us a cover fire which we wanted. It also allows us to poke up into this position and get farms on these tanks which are sat in the open to us. Now, I am concerned the Waffle E100 is alive. If I back up too far here, he could shoot us in the side, but I'm hoping I'll get spotted by that friendly TD which is here to help us. Now, I get pushed by a medium tank, and this is why I want my cover, because with my cover then they can get the shots in. But with our TDs also moved up in the town, they can shoot these tanks like this TD's just got absolutely destroyed there. And we've actually picked up a lot of assistance, and we only ate one shot, so we've done a right out of that, to be honest with you. We've got some nice assistance off of that UDES. And I think that medium might think twice about poking now. He knows if there's shots at them. And what I have found is I didn't get shot by a lot of enemy tanks when I did this. I know there's still something out there. I know the Waffle is somewhere, but I like to think I would outspot the Waffle. So I'm just going to sort of, I'm cagey of that. I don't want to get deleted by the Waffle. It does not take a long time for a Waffle E100 to absolutely shred you. So I do have to be careful of that, because he can kill me in the space for like 3-4 seconds. So I'm just pulling back with this medium here. I'm hoping, you see our TD is now edging to sort of the position where I was hoping someone would go. They can then potentially get shots into that medium tank which is in that low ground there, and that's what I really want, more though just to back him off so I could try and get shots into stuff in the middle. I'm just seeing if I can extend my view range. I've had a decent game, what, 3,000 damage, 2,000 assistance, but there's still 10 tanks left, and there's a lot of hit points available to us, so I want to try and get some of those. I'm going to push a bit forwards again, see if I can get any shots in. I have spotted a enemy Sturm on the right hand side, and it looks like he's crossing, so I might be able to get a couple of shots into this Sturm if I'm lucky. We do get one in which damages his ammo rack, which is good, because obviously he's going to have a really long reload now. Put one into the lower plate. Obviously I don't know, he might already be reloaded, so I don't want to get splashed by that Sturm. But you can see from this position, which you can't always play by the way, but when you can, you just got these free farms. So it's worked out really well, and the TD now has really extended our view range in sort of the K2 area. So I'm thankful for him doing that, because it's really allowed me to sort of push up and get the damage I needed. So we're now on about 4,000 damage, 2,500 assistance as well, and only 6 enemy tanks remaining. These are still heavy tanks in the sort of courtyard area. I might be able to get some shots in. Get one into the cupola there of that enemy heavy tank, which is good. Putting us onto 5,000 damage. Enemy Waffle E100 does get spotted. He is just below the ridge line though, so I don't have shots, but he also doesn't have shots at us. And he's now getting targeted by the enemy artillery, so I'm thinking he probably doesn't have long left in this game. I'm just going to move over now and see if we can get some shots. Just trying to get a little bit closer. I think the damage has dried up here, and then as I say that, an enemy heavy tank drives back into the courtyard, and now we should hopefully get the kill here, and we do, picking up our second kill of the game, putting us under 5,600 damage now. And we do still have a lot of hit points, but there's some nasty tank destroyers left alive. One being this Waffle. That was a poor miss by me. You can see I'm more frustrated that I missed that shot. I could have aimed that better. Then an enemy F3005 comes around and absolutely slaps me. Thankfully he didn't one-shot me. He did leave me pretty low, but he's now on reload, and to be honest, I think I can probably kill him before he's even reloaded. He's tracked in position, and yeah, we don't get the kill. We get a bit of the track assistance. We didn't kill that Waffle just in the nick of time, because that was very, very close. Could have taken us out, but we're about just shy of 7,000 damage now, 3,000 assistance and 4 kills. There's only 2 tanks remaining, and I am just darting forward to try and get shots. I don't have shots at that enemy artillery, but maybe I can get some shots at this TD. He has lost pretty much all of his hit points, but we squeeze that shell in to bring us above the 7k mark and get the 4th kill. I think it's unlikely that we're going to be able to get the artillery, but we're moving over just in case, but no, we don't. And that is the end of the video. So let's see how we got on before we say goodbyes then. We managed to pick up 7,000 damage, 4 kills, 3,000 assistance. So yeah, we had a really nice game, and got the ace tanker in the high caliber. So that's it for the video. Like I say, if you do like it, please remember to like and subscribe. I will continue to do my best to get the videos out in the buff tanks as quickly as possible, and as always, happy tanking.
Hadouken!